painter and composer based in Syracuse, New York. Growing up between Havana's vibrant streets and New York's contemporary art scene, he discovered that painting and music aren't separate worlds, but complementary languages. Inspired by a series of poems, he wrote about exile and belonging. He created a personal parable that guides his work. Each canvas becomes a stage where brushstrokes and melodies dance together. Each composition is a story you can see and hear. And from his studio in Syracuse, he crafts contemporary paintings that speak of color, rhythm, and memory, inviting viewers into a dialogue between sound and image. If you're in Syracuse or greater New York area, and I guess specifically here tonight, he welcomes you to engage in this dialogue and to visit with him to explore his latest collections. And also, these are commissioned pieces, so if you're even interested in buying a piece, we have QR codes where you can get the pricing for that. But outside of that, please welcome Abisay Puentes. So, Emptiness. Yes. What I have questions, and people were asking me questions. I was like, we have to come to the artist talk with you because one of the main questions that I have been asked is, and I will ask you, what first drew you to the idea of emptiness as the central theme of this body of work?
First, I want to apologize about my English. I know everybody said, you don't have to, yeah, but I feel when I speak in Spanish, is it like ride a Lamborghini? When I speak in English, it's like when I go. So, I apologize for that. When people think in emptiness, I think that in almost everybody, the brain is growing an idea, a place without nothing, completely empty, right? But in my idea, I was thinking about more symbolic. So you can be full of people around you, full of material, full of things, but it doesn't mean you are full. And the story behind to these poems is a person, this guy. He was very, very sad about his context. I think the question he had in his mind is a question almost everybody keep it in their brain, but not everybody says. When this guy tried to find the answer, he didn't get the answer. So he got connected to a machine, and he got to breathe a perfume and make these friends make him to forget his question about his life, to forget his life, and his perception of the reality started becoming like those paintings in that side there. So this guy, he walks out back, he came back, he started to see after 10,000 years, he realized that he had been walking on a structure like that for 10,000 years, but he didn't know because the perfume made him to lose the sense of the reality. I know this kind of work is symbolic work. That's why I couldn't, with my painting, I compose the music for because the symbolism, all these artists in 1980s, they tried to get the music into the painting, they tried to combine all this poetry with painting and music. But I think that the technology wasn't like today.
Yeah, of course not. No.
Today I can create music, painting, and make the video.
Yeah.
And I don't need nobody to help me with that. I can't do it by myself. And I think that's why I was talking with my friend here. I was telling her, we are in the heaven of art now because we can do anything we want.
Yes.
And I don't know if I answered the question.
Well, no, you have in many ways, and maybe a few more, but because I was going to ask you, how is your understanding of spirituality and philosophy?
In communists, this dictatorship, that's why I'm like this. When I came to the United States, and I started to get into the culture in the United States. By the way, all this is American art, because I did it here. Okay, I did it in Cuba.
Yes.
So, when I came to the United States, I had to start to translate everything to my new context. And I really realized it's not the culture. So it's not for our regime. It's for the human being. So that way, emptiness. We can be with the whole country, like this big, beautiful country, and you can be empty because nothing around you can give you any sense, can give you any purpose. You gotta have it. Adam and Eve, this biblical, this biblical people that was in the Bible, it's right to use them. Okay, I can use them, but they are not a biblical person. It's as a work of art and symbolic meaning. They are just names.
Yeah, so
I use it.
Yeah, so a trope.
Yeah, but sorry if I'm
No.
trying to find the right words.
Very clear.
And 80% I'm translating from Spanish. That's why I'm trying to bring this idea. In Spanish, it's very hard for me to tell you.
Well, I'm sure if I was trying to, even though I've studied Spanish, but I'm not a native speaker and I'm rusty. So the same thing, me trying to communicate in Spanish, how I think in English, it was the barrier it would be the same way if I was trying to talk to you in Spanish. But you're doing very well. I think he's very clear. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. And so I understand. We understand that the symbolism of that you're connecting the Adam and Eve story and kind of opening this awakening awareness rather in the Bible it's sin and your story it is like the pain and emptiness of life and being connected to this machine, that sort of thing. And so in understanding that, because that helps to connect, that helps to tell why he's connected to this contraption or this machine, right? That is, and you don't see all the pieces. There are other pieces, there are Adam and Eve pieces that he has. There's images of them that are not in this exhibition, which add to the story. So we needed to hear that, right? But I the pieces in this exhibition feel deeply introspective. And what emotions or personal experiences informed their creation? Because you've been working on this for many decades now, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, there is a story, but how does it connect to what is informing it? Like, why the story? Why have you been working on this for so long?
Well, I started in 1990 something. But as life, because okay, how I see my art and how I see how it's supposed to be an art creation. You know, I don't want to tell you just one painting all my feelings because it's not like that. You know? It's not like that. When you are making a body of work, you wanna show all variations of feelings and all connected with the mind idea. So the feeling I think is most common in all these paintings is the rage, angry.
Yeah, rage, anger, yes.
Yeah. When I am Asperger's syndrome, and when I was a kid, I suffered a lot of bullying.
Bullying, yes.
And when I was 10 years old, I guess, maybe 8, between 8 and 10, I found the way to express myself painting. And my uncle, he gave me a big, I forgot the name is called, but okay, something with a lot of painting. He gave me that. But my mom, she wanted to be a pianist. So I got to study piano when I was 6 years old until 10, 12 years old, maybe 12, 13. I stopped to keep studying piano because I hated all that piano lessons. For me, it was killing me.
Painful.
Yeah. But all the my envy, was because the school for me was a huge torture, and I started to express myself. But when you're a kid, you don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
With my professor, Dr. Guerrero, he showed me how to, I can use my music and the painting to do all this. And I started with, maybe I was 18, 19 years old, I started to work on this. This started with a class assignment.
Yes.
And
Oh, wow.
I started to grow that class assignment to this point. So
That's a long class assignment. I would say that you passed the class. Yeah. That's beautiful, though. And it always, I've spoken to many artists, and there's always someone who has inspired, who has encouraged, who has mentored, and really cultivated a gift that was always there, right? For whatever the reasons why you started, creating art, which you already explained, which was another question of whether you, explain that or discuss that this is definitely a means of facilitating, I would say, wellness and healing. First for yourself, that young boy who had experienced anger, but now has opened up a dialogue for everyone else to have to be in conversation with you to work through their own feelings, and that's a very beautiful gift that you've given to the community. Yes. Yes. And I do have a hand up, so I think this could be. Yes.
Where did you start taking pianos in Cuba or in Canada?
In Cuba, I was a little kid when I studied.
Yeah.
So I was in Cuba. My professor, she was born in the United States, but she moved to Cuba before Castro, and she stayed there. I don't know why. Because she died a couple of years ago. She was American citizen. She was
She stayed. She never
she
did.
born in Florida.
She loved Cuba.
Yeah, but she showed me, she taught me like that. But I don't hate her. I hate the boom piano lesson. I hated those Thompson lessons. I don't remember exactly right now. I remember the name Thompson and all those.
No, listen, we don't want to trigger trauma tonight. So I have questions about your color palette.
Okay.
Because there are some pieces that, so I understand what's going on. I think with the figurative art, there's the figure, does he have a name or no? The man?
No.
Okay,
man.
so this man, right? I'd like to first ask you, what's going on in this piece of work here? What is this blue, I see a city, right? And then from there, I'd like to know, your color palettes go from dark to light, and then he's on the 10,000 years walking around the circle. So can we start here, and can you kind of walk us through,
Yeah.
the color?
Well, in this story, of course, in this part, Alan and Eve, they already finished to connect things, but they're still building the machine, and this machine became to a big city. So in some point, the man he got inside to this big, huge machine, but he didn't know that he was like that, He didn't know it because all he sees is those paintings there. So for him, everything is good. He hasn't any real perception about what is going on with him. When he walks up, he found it's like that. So the color, listen, I don't pay too much attention about that. I think it's more, okay, what I want to give in this painting, I want to just use the color that I feel is good, but I'm not I don't love the color, like, many artists, I heard them, I love that, no, I just do what I feel is gonna represent better my film. People could understand maybe a technical or,
Well, I'm surprised to hear you say this because you've mastered color beautifully. There's so much movement in the work, so that, and the video that we have brings another layer of that. Because if you watch the video, the paintings, and these are landscape paintings. I don't know if you caught that. It's not abstract, it's landscape, right? But it's going in and out in the video, right? The transition so that movement, the video shows movement. But even if we didn't have the movement, I would say that your brushstroke and the texture and the swirling that's going on in these paintings conveys that movement as well. And so these paintings feel alive to me, right? Yeah, absolutely. Beautifully done that, and just how you can see the ebb and flow, the in and out of, of awareness or lack thereof, or consciousness maybe. And so that, and I feel like, and how it was curated, because it was curated purposely to go through the transitions of darks and lights, and then somehow we end up here, or vice versa, depending on where you started. Yes.
You're talking about the curation of it. When I saw the presentation of his work at the Abisay Museum,
Yes.
it was in the theater and it began to move and circle out and it would pan out. But it incorporated, this is the first time I've ever seen someone combine music. He composes the music to go with each painting.
Yes.
And that blew me away. The combination of the music with the art and how the music is as brilliant as the art. It really fits so well. It was really a multi-sensory experience. It was mind-blowing. Did you bring a speaker? Are we going to be able to hear the
Should we do that now? Maybe we should do that now. So, listen, you have to, for me, I could ask him a million questions, but this is a layered artist talk. And so, do you mind if we transition to the music? Because he also is going to do a painting demonstration, which is why we have this easel here. So,
before we move on from that, are there poems that come from this as well?
The what?
poems?
Poems. Yeah, I wrote a series of poems. That is my theoretical fundament for all my work, my music, and my
Foundation.
yeah, yeah, of course there are, but in Spanish. In English, I don't think I could have.
Well, you can speak Spanish here too. He doesn't have to hear. Okay, well, yes, but that is welcome as well. So, before we go to the next part of this artist talk, are there any more questions? Or we can continue to have the conversation, but Sunita, did you have a question?
I have a question.
Oh, okay. Was there another?
No, but wait, we were debating, we were wondering what comes first, right? Because you have poetry, you have story, you have painting. Are you then looking at the painting and then expanding on the story? So like chicken and egg, which one is coming first in your process?
Well, yeah, well, the thing is, how I started painting, that was my first, way to express myself. And then, years later, my art philosophy professor, he brought me to compose music to my painting, so the paintings first.
Very good.
But in art, we don't see, we don't get that. We don't get it. You want us to see. You want us to do it. Right first time, when I walk into rooms, first thing I heard was new sound. Right? And then when I started to look at the instrument to, the sound. So I guess I'm asking you, even though, in terms of what you before, is necessarily want us to see painting first?
Yeah, you use a very good word, sound, because how I feel my music is not music as dancing music like salsa, nothing like that. It's the interior sound of my painting. So that's why I said that my music is the soundscape of my visual art. And that was sometimes my professor, when he saw my first score that I showed him, I don't like to be like a Beethoven or in the piano, No, I do everything in my computer.
Yeah.
But my professor, he asked me, you gotta show me score. You gotta show me.
Yeah.
I don't want to just listen. Bring me something to see the music. And when I brought him, I didn't respect the time. And he told me, you know that you don't respect the time, the music time. That's why I think that you are thinking in painting, not in music. And I didn't know what the meaning of that. I was 22 years old. And now I understand because the painting has something. You can be 1 million years looking at painting and never going to change. And you can listen a piece of music in how long? 7 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. So in that way, the painting, the time in the painting is different to the music. But I accept the challenge, and I try to make my music, and I forget about the time. That was some of my, if you can listen like that, but some of my music are 20 minutes, some 7, some 12, some different.
Yeah.
Because I don't think in the time, I'm thinking the feeling and what I want to express. I don't care. If people don't want to listen, believe me, I even don't care.
Well, so very layered, very emotive, right? And my thing is about all art. When you create art, you being an artist or any artist, you have intentions and ideas of what you want to communicate. And then once it's out into the world, you have no control how people receive it, right? You just, it's based, off of their interpretation, their intrinsic values, those sorts of things. But as long as an artist is creating, what they're creating is true to themselves and what they want to, so it's not, wrong or right or time or this, it we go beyond like school and teachers and just the creating, which is why I think it resonates even more because it's coming from a place of honesty. And so if we could, maybe we can transition to the music and the demonstration, whatever you'd like.
From coronavirus to this point, I started to think very deeply about my painting and the music. Because before I just tried to translate in sound my painting, blah, 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 all these things I said. But something that came in my head, okay, how people really can see the music on the canvas.
Yes.
And I started to do something I want to show you today. Just my close friends, they know what I'm going to do, but not everybody. And it's something that I've been thinking in this for many years, 5 years now.
Okay, when you told me you were going to do some, I said, oh, I didn't know he was going to go to one of the paintings on the wall. Like, oh no, it's too beautiful. Please.
You're not taking it over.
That's the idea I had in my head. And I was like, oh my gosh. But no, interesting. Beautiful.
You know, I just-
So explain, what have you added to the painting?
Okay, of course, on compose, I use software.
Yes.
I know in symbolic art, do something very different.
Yes.
It's, contradiction. But I was thinking, okay, how can I paint the music? Okay, I'm gonna paint the software that I use to compose. And the software you can.
Oh.
And of course, it's my line, it's my interpretation
Yes.
of the music, but I know how it looks, so I'm showing you how it looks.
So I don't read music or know music, but I thought I was seeing compositional lines and scores and things. You might have to give your piano teachers. You didn't deviate too far because the music followed you just in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Now I don't feel so bad because in my mind you were going to just.
I know everybody was expecting that.
Yeah, well, because I think it was a gossip. Someone said, "Well, it's such a treat to learn about an artist's praxis, right? The process is what I want to say. Oftentimes, the public doesn't get that unless they're invited into your, studio, or we get a demonstration like this. And so this just adds another layer of understanding and experience that I believe translates beyond language. Yes, the visual is powerful in that way. And so, are there any other questions for Abisay that you have, or anything you may want to convey or talk about? Excuse me. So, any other questions? There's one in the back.
So, when you leave Cuba and come to the States, what difference did it make in your work?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
When did you leave Cuba to come to the United States, and what difference did it make in your work? Do you work differently now that you're here versus in Cuba?
Yes. Of course, in Cuba, I hate the dictatorship, and my painting was pretty I tried to express all my
Anger, yes.
anger
Mhm.
on those paintings. But the story is the same one, and the human is human wherever we are like we are. And that's why just change. For example, in Cuba I didn't paint that part. So, my experience in the United States, my all these years as an immigrant, all this experience, of course, make me change some. If I never come into the United States, probably I still painting like when I was in Cuba. But in the United States, I change. No, I don't change the story. I don't change the main idea. But of course, my feelings are different. My experience is different. So there is another little detail. I don't say nothing about that here. But remember, in Cuba, you can't tell anything that, let me see how can I say that. For example, my second exhibition in Cuba was taken from the wall, was taken off from the wall, because the government interpretation was, you are making art against us. I said, what? I was, so it's art, come on. Well, you can tell very clearly what you want to say. So that's why my decision to start painting more symbolic was because that. Why I didn't change when I come in, because I think symbolic art is so deep and it's so powerful that what I'm gonna do, I love it. I love it to paint symbolic things, and I'm giving to people to get the answer by their own. And I don't. If change, yes, change.
In hearing you describe your experience about creating art in Cuba and having your exhibition taken off the walls, if I close my eyes, I can say, oh, the United States. without getting political.
Yes.
It's what's happening some artists now, some artists are experiencing, which is, you can draw your own conclusions from that. All the reason why, we more than ever want to champion, artistic expression and freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Now more than ever.
Let me say something.
Yeah.
I didn't tell this because I really don't like to give. I want people discover but Adam and Eve for me has a meaning. Adam is the people with power. People that want to control what you think about everything around you. Even Eve is the society. It's a very poisoning combination about the free thinking, free speech, and that's why in some point, for my experience in Cuba, now in the United States, in some point, everybody has some kind of in this situation, I'm just in my art, I'm trying to translate this in an universal way to express these ideas, and I think I do with some kind of beauty, but in the meaning, the most simple way to see it is what is happening.
Absolutely, yeah. And I love the ushering in of free thinking and how people can connect in different ways without you telling or dictating what that is. Because even though the theme or the subject of empty is emptiness, there's still even beauty, it's connected to the beauty of the work. And so, it allows for other thoughts, because emptiness can lead to many other, feelings and ideas. And so with that, I want to say thank you. Thank you for bringing this show to the Community Photon Center with new insights. And we appreciate all that you do and who you are and your artistic expressions. Obviously,